client what they want to do for homework. When I do this, clients typically come up with really, really hard homework. So track them back a little bit. Let's start a little smaller. Human beings like to go big time, or give them several homework ideas and meeting times and let them choose. Accountability and autonomy, they are diametrically opposed. Be okay with your clients not coming back with homework. Pretty much they're not going to, very rarely. I am comfortable with that because the actual homework, what I actually want them to accomplish is awareness and resilience, and they don't need to be writing anything down. They're probably processing it upstairs, and that's what I want. Reinforce the perspective and awareness, not accountability and compliance. I understand that the systems that you're working through frequently require compliance, but look for every opportunity to rebel against that a little bit. I know you have to complete some of that stuff, but by reinforcing perspective and awareness, you're growing your client's autonomy. And what is the purpose of this homework for my clients? Is it just to check a box? Is it to reinforce something that we've talked about today? What is the purpose? Oh yes, a final word of warning. The procrastination cycle is huge. It is a gigantic enemy, and we're humans, and we really, really like to battle big problems with big weapons. And all through this, you've heard me say, small, small, small. The smallest possible intervention that you can do. Those big weapons come along with big risks. And if, or more accurately, when your client fails at a big behavior change, they are way less likely to try ever again, and it will feed the cycle. The smaller the tool, the better it will work. Okay, let's pop out of here. So we're running pretty close on time, but I want to make sure that we have a little bit of, because I can chat for as long as you guys want, and I have some homework for you. But I do want to make sure that we get some reflective time right now. So what has been your biggest aha or takeaway from this class today?
I feel like sometimes, like with our clients, we try to figure things out. Like, what do we need them to do? What can we do for them? How can we be most effective for them? Instead of letting them have that autonomy, like what's gonna work for them, and like what will they choose to allow to work? Like kind of like you were saying, not holding them, like not giving them big tasks, just letting them figure out what they can figure out. And so I feel like too, I tend to like give them all these tasks, like let's conquer this, this, and that, and then you'll be better. And it's like, whoa, then they, if you can get them to do it, great, but it's just more overwhelming. So instead of using small tools, small steps at a time.
Does anybody else see that in their work? Yeah, that's, of course, you care, you want to help, you want to fix, absolutely. And right? They're your 400th client or something, right? It's their first time, but it's not yours. So of course you have a different perspective. Yeah, very much so. Thank you very much. What other observations have you guys had? Any surprises? Anything you hate me for? Those are always the most interesting feedback comments. Hannah swore too much. So what do you think you guys will notice in your work? Because it's not about you, it's about your clients. What do you think you'll notice in your work as let's say you practice drawing out the cycle a couple times and you present it to a client? What do you think you'll notice?
Hopefully growth.
Yeah, hopefully. Alicia, you're cheating. You have so much back-end knowledge of what I do. Rachel, too.
I know. I've been taught this.
Alicia's like, please, crisis cycle. Adorable.
Would it be wrong to hope that they choose to avoidance of the crisis so that they like intervene for themselves before they get to that point?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you don't want them to avoid their feelings, but to avoid getting to that level of problem.
Yeah. And whose job does that make easier ultimately? Right? This is definitely everything in my curriculum is front end loaded with difficulty. So this is difficult. Like this class, I shrunk a 2-hour class into an hour and a half. We've been pounding through it, right? Practicing the cycle is difficult. Teaching it the first couple of times is difficult. But ideally, it gets easier for them over time, right? And it reduces, because what happens when we're aware of this, when we build our awareness and resilience, is that procrastination starts to fade, choices get better and better. And without that oppressing crap, I gotta get done stuff, that begins to free up their bandwidth. So their job gets easier, your job gets easier. What else? Okay, here's the money question, and I'm not going to answer it. You guys are going to answer it. How does this crisis cycle, how do you think this impacts people's finances?
What they're spending,
Can you give me some good examples?
like overspending,
Mm-hmm.
Like retail therapy.
Like retail
Yeah.
therapy.
and retail therapy.
Yep, because they're using retail therapy as a control, and that's what crisis does to us. It removes our control. So of course they're going to shop or get their hair colored or get a new tattoo because they have control. So by giving them more control, which is autonomy, those kind of behaviors tend to reduce.
So would you say like, so with procrastination, just to kind of like clear things in my mind, with procrastination, would it be good for them like to observe or even tally if they want to, when they find themselves procrastinating the most, like time of day, type of task,
Who they're around.
longevity, environment.
Yep. Have them looking for patterns. Again, our brains are fantastic at pattern recognition. I mean, I did this crisis cycle with a very young mom who was in an active domestic violence situation. And she came back and said, what I noticed was that whenever I'm around him, my shame ticks up. You, me, everybody on the planet goes, yeah, duh. She had never seen that pattern. Never. Because of course he's using gaslighting and all that other good domestic violence stuff, but she'd never noticed that. Had I told her that he's a piece of garbage and you should leave him, that's not going to work, right? But she noticed that when she's around him, her shame ticks up dramatically. Yeah, looking for patterns, time of day, what happened before, what happened after is a really good way to phrase that. So wonderful. What else, guys? You guys ready for homework? I'm not going to let you choose. So I'm going to put into the chat a couple things, if I can manipulate my computer here. I would like to meet with